Good morning and welcome to the Porch broadcast. Well, this morning we want to talk about something that we have to ask a moral question about. And let me explain what I'm getting at here. We've been bombing some drug boats out of Venezuela, and the question I think in some people's mind is this moral just to bomb these boats? And in order to answer that question with fairness, let's talk about, well, let's just break it down. So what we have is we have men, they're getting on these boats and they're bringing drugs into the United States. Number one is that's illegal. Number two is it's very dangerous. Number three, these men know this before they do it. They know it and they make a decision to do it anyway. So what we have now is we have men that have made a bad decision, obviously. And we have to ask ourselves, where do we go from there? Well, let's, again, put some perspective on this. And part of the perspective I think we need to put on this is that there's been anywhere from 3 to as high as I think 14 people dying on these boats. Now that number may not be entirely correct. I'm thinking maybe there's 14 means there were more than one boat, but at any rate, let's just say there's half a dozen guys on these boats when they get hit. So they're carrying drugs that probably will supply, say, and I'm just using numbers here. I don't have any way to back these numbers up. I'm just using them as a point of reference. Say there's enough drugs on one of those boats to supply 10,000 people with drugs. Now, out of that 10,000 people, there's going to be a percentage of those people that are going to die with overdoses on these drugs. Now, here's part of the reason why. Part of the reason is these drugs are not regulated in any way. There's no quality control on them or anything like that. So just say that we lose out of 10,000 people supplied with those drugs, we lose 200 people. If that's the case, and when these drug boats get bombed, 6 guys lose their lives, 6 guys that knowingly are breaking the law and making choices, and they have to know that there's going to be people dying when they supply these drugs. Now that, to me, becomes murder, okay? So you got 6 drug dealers and they're murderous drug dealers. And they may cost the lives of 200 people just with that one boatload of drugs. And they may be a lot more to that boatload of drugs than what I'm saying. I'm just using some numbers for reference. So 200 people die, and is it morally sound to bomb a drug boat with 6 men on it as opposed to letting those drugs reach our shore and kill 200 of our children, our sons and our daughters, our granddaughters and grandsons, so on and so forth? Is it moral to bomb those drug boats? I think it would be immoral to not do it. Now, I want to say this quickly because it's important for people to know and understand. Having to take the lives of anybody is grievous. It's terrible to have to do. But you don't always get to make choices about those types of things. Sometimes that just comes up and you have to do what you have to do. Now let's break this thing down into a little bit smaller scenario just for the sake of understanding. And this is for you folks that are taking moral high ground and saying this is not right. One of these drug dealers comes to your house, say two of them, and they kick the door down, and they're not wanting to sell drugs, they just want to take the life of your son or your daughter. To what extent would you go to make sure that they weren't able to do that? If you were armed, would you stop them with deadly force? Because you see, it's your responsibility as a parent to do that. Let's shift gears. We have a president that said he's going to stop this thing. He's going to stop the murder of our sons and daughters. I think he's taken the moral high ground, as hard as that may be, and I don't think he takes any pleasure in this at all. But he seems to be a strong man, and he seems to say, I'll do what I have to do to keep my oath to protect the American people. So for you, again, that take that moral high ground that says that I don't believe it's right to do that, I'm going to ask you this. Is it right for you to let your sons and daughters die because you're not willing to step up and maybe reconsider what the moral high ground is here? Well, now, I got to tell you something. I'm a fellow that believes in doing what's right for your family. If you kick the door down on my house and try to harm my family, it's not going to come out good for you that day. And that's just my perspective, okay? If you've got another perspective, leave it in the comments. I'm willing to hear what you got to say. I'm just saying what I think about this whole thing. Should we bomb these drug boats? Well, I think we need to bomb every last one of them. Anybody that tries to attack our nation by taking our sons and daughters, to me, is the enemy, period. And whatever I have to do to protect my family from the enemy, I will do. I want to say this. Thank you, President Trump and DOJ, or not DOJ, but the Department of War, for taking these people out before they harm our people. Okay, I'm pretty sure I've already made several people mad, so I guess I'll quit for today. We here at the Porch do love you, and I want you to know something. We love those people that are losing their lives out there in those drug boats. I wish they weren't doing what they're doing. I wish this didn't have to happen. But it is what it is. So at the end of the day, we need to keep doing what we're doing. We need to stop the enemy. May God bless. Stay safe out there. Have a good day.